The paradox seems impossible. Be indifferent to wealth while building it. Stop caring about money while accumulating it. Detach from outcomes while pursuing them. This sounds like contradiction, like philosophical nonsense. But the Stoics understood something modern financial advice misses completely. Indifference is not apathy. It is the ultimate competitive advantage. The person who needs wealth least is the person most capable of building it. This video reveals how Stoic indifference creates wealth faster than desire ever could. You will learn why desperation repels money while detachment attracts it. Why people who chase wealth frantically stay poor while those who remain calm accumulate capital effortlessly. And why the ancient principle of indifference to outcomes produces better financial results than any modern strategy focused on outcomes alone. A woman sits across from a potential investor. She has prepared for weeks. Her business plan is solid. Her projections are realistic. Her product solves a real problem, but she needs funding. She needs it desperately. Her savings are exhausted. Her credit cards are maxed. She has 3 months before she must shut down everything and return to employment she hates. The investor can sense this desperation. He asks casual questions. She answers too quickly, too eagerly. She reveals her need. The meeting ends politely. No commitment, no investment, no hope. 6 months later, she has pivoted. She reduced expenses drastically. She found contract work that covers basics. She no longer needs the investor. Her business grows slowly through reinvested profits. The same investor contacts her. He has reconsidered. He wants to invest. Now she negotiates from strength. She accepts favorable terms. She maintains control. The difference is not her business. The difference is her indifference. When she needed the money, she could not get it. When she stopped needing it, it came to her. This is not mysticism. This is psychology. Desperation changes behavior. It makes you accept bad deals. It forces compromise. It broadcasts weakness. Every negotiation you enter from need puts you at disadvantage. Every decision you make from financial pressure produces inferior outcomes. The person who must have something cannot negotiate effectively. The person who can walk away wins every time. The Stoics called this indifference to externals. Marcus Aurelius wrote that wealth and poverty are equally external. Neither defines you. Neither should control you. Your task is to pursue wealth rationally while remaining emotionally detached from whether you obtain it. This detachment is not surrender. It is strategic positioning. It removes the emotional handicap that destroys most financial decisions. Consider real estate investment. 2 people see the same property. Both want it. One needs it to complete their portfolio. They have planned around this acquisition. Their investment strategy depends on it. Their timeline requires it. The other person wants it but does not need it. They have alternatives. They can walk away without disruption. Both make offers. The desperate buyer reveals urgency through aggressive bidding. They pay above value. They waive inspections. They accept unfavorable terms. The indifferent buyer offers fair value and waits. Often, they get the property for less. Sometimes they do not get it at all, but they never overpay. Over time, this discipline builds wealth while desperation destroys it. This principle applies to every financial domain: stock purchases, business negotiations, salary discussions, asset sales. The pattern remains constant. Need creates weakness. Indifference creates power. The person who must sell accepts low prices. The person who must buy pays premium. The person who can wait gets value. This is why wealth concentrates among those who already have it. Not because the system is rigged, although it often is, but because wealth itself creates the psychological position necessary to build more wealth. Money makes money because money creates options. Options create indifference. Indifference creates better decisions. Apply this to your career. You negotiate salary. If you need the job desperately, you accept their first offer. You fear that pushing back will cost you the position. Your desperation shows. Your leverage disappears. You take less than you are worth. But if you have savings, if you can survive unemployment, if you have alternatives, you negotiate from strength. You can walk away. This changes everything. Not because you will walk away, but because you could. That possibility transforms the negotiation. Employers sense the difference. They offer more to people who need them less. If you understand this paradox, write indifferent in the comments. This signals that you recognize how detachment creates wealth while attachment destroys it. The Stoics made a crucial distinction that modern thinking misses. They separated preference from need. Epictetus taught that you can prefer wealth while being indifferent to whether you obtain it. You pursue money rationally. You make intelligent financial decisions. You work to increase income. You invest wisely. You build assets, but you do not attach your identity or peace to the outcome. If you become wealthy, good. If you do not, also good. Your well-being is independent of the result. This sounds like hedging, like protecting yourself from disappointment. It is not. It is recognizing reality. Wealth accumulation depends partly on factors you control and partly on factors you do not. You control your effort, your discipline, your strategy, your choices. You do not control market timing, economic conditions, industry disruptions, competitor actions, health crises, family emergencies, random chance. The ratio between controlled and uncontrolled factors is roughly 50-50. Attaching your peace to outcomes that are half beyond your control guarantees suffering. The indifferent person focuses exclusively on what they control. They maximize effort. They optimize strategy. They maintain discipline. Then they accept whatever results emerge. This acceptance is not passivity. It is realism. It allows you to pursue wealth without the emotional toll that usually accompanies pursuit. You work hard without anxiety. You take intelligent risks without fear. You face setbacks without despair. You achieve success without arrogance. This emotional stability is itself a competitive advantage. Consider entrepreneurship. Starting a business requires sustained effort over years. Most entrepreneurs burn out not from work but from emotional strain. The constant worry, the fear of failure, the pressure to succeed, the comparison to others, the attachment to outcomes they cannot fully control. This stress degrades decision quality. It creates desperation. It forces premature exits or foolish pivots. The indifferent entrepreneur works just as hard but carries less weight. They do their best and accept results. This sustainability allows them to persist when others quit. Persistence is often the difference between success and failure. The same applies to investing. Market volatility creates emotional challenges. Prices swing wildly. Your portfolio value changes daily. If you attach your peace to these fluctuations, you suffer constantly. Suffering leads to bad decisions. You sell during crashes. You buy during bubbles. You abandon your strategy when it is most important to maintain it. The indifferent investor experiences the same volatility but processes it differently. Prices drop. They observe without panic. Prices rise. They observe without euphoria. They maintain their investment strategy regardless of emotion. This consistency produces superior long-term returns. But indifference is not natural. Humans evolved to attach to outcomes, to fear loss, to desire gain. The Stoics understood this. They did not expect indifference to arise spontaneously. They practiced it deliberately. They used specific exercises to build emotional detachment while maintaining rational pursuit of goals. These practices work for wealth building as effectively as they worked for the ancient Romans facing war, plague, and political chaos. The first practice is negative visualization applied to wealth. Imagine losing everything: your house, your savings, your investments, your business, all of it gone. Sit with this image, feel the discomfort, then ask yourself what you would do. How would you rebuild? What skills remain? What relationships survive? What baseline of well-being persists even in poverty? This exercise reveals two truths. First, worst-case scenarios are survivable. Second, your identity is not your net worth. These realizations create genuine indifference, not because you want to lose wealth, but because you know you can survive loss. Practice this monthly. Spend a day living as if you have lost everything. Eat cheaply. Avoid luxury. Experience the life you fear. Most people discover that poverty, while unpleasant, is not unbearable. This knowledge removes the fear that drives desperate financial decisions. When you know you can survive with nothing, you stop making choices from fear. You start making choices from reason. This shift alone improves financial outcomes dramatically. The second practice is deliberate gratitude for current wealth. Most people focus on what they lack. They compare themselves to those with more. They feel inadequate. This creates desperation disguised as ambition. The Stoic practice is opposite. Catalog what you have, not to stop pursuing more, but to recognize that you already have enough to survive. This recognition creates the psychological space necessary for indifference. You want more, but you do not need more. This distinction changes everything. Write down your current assets, your income, your possessions, your skills, your relationships, your health. Recognize that billions of people throughout history would trade places with you instantly. This is not relativism. This is perspective. You can pursue greater wealth while acknowledging that your current position is already privileged. This acknowledgement prevents the desperation that sabotages wealth building. The third practice is viewing wealth as a tool rather than a goal. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome, yet he wrote that wealth is not good or bad. It is neutral, like a hammer, useful in the right hands, dangerous in the wrong hands. The value is not in the tool, but in how you use it. This perspective allows you to pursue money without worshiping it, to build wealth without being defined by it, to lose money without being destroyed by the loss. Apply this thinking to every financial decision. You consider buying investment property. Do not ask whether this will make you rich. Ask whether this serves your values and goals. If yes, buy it. If no, pass. The outcome is secondary. The alignment with purpose is primary. This approach prevents the accumulation of wealth that brings no satisfaction. It focuses your financial energy on building assets that serve your actual life, rather than serving some abstract notion of success. The fourth practice is radical acceptance of market reality. You cannot control asset prices. You cannot control economic cycles. You cannot control regulatory changes. You cannot control technological disruption. You can control your response to these factors. The indifferent investor studies markets not to predict them, but to understand them. Not to control outcomes, but to prepare for multiple scenarios. They build portfolios that survive various futures. They diversify not from fear, but from realism. They rebalance not from emotion, but from discipline. This approach seems passive. It is not. It is intensely active. You research constantly. You analyze thoroughly. You execute decisively, but you hold results loosely. You make the best decisions possible with available information. Then you accept whatever happens. This combination of maximal effort and emotional detachment is rare. Most people do one or the other. High effort with high attachment leads to burnout. Low effort with high detachment leads to poverty. High effort with low attachment leads to wealth. This is the Stoic formula. Consider the mathematics of indifference. Desperate decisions cost you approximately 20% of potential wealth over a lifetime. Bad negotiation, premature selling, panic buying, opportunity cost from fear-based choices. These errors compound. A 20% reduction in returns over 40 years cuts your final wealth in half. Indifference eliminates most of these errors. You negotiate better. You sell rationally. You buy strategically. You make choices from reason rather than emotion. This discipline, sustained over decades, doubles or triples your final net worth compared to the desperate approach. The indifferent person builds wealth differently. They do not chase trends. They do not follow hot tips. They do not panic during crashes. They do not celebrate during booms. They maintain a steady, rational approach regardless of external conditions. This consistency is boring. Boring is profitable. Exciting is expensive. The most successful investors have boring strategies executed with discipline. The flashy traders make good stories but poor returns. Be boring, be indifferent, get rich quietly. But indifference does not mean absence of goals. The Stoics pursued excellence in everything. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. Seneca advised emperors. Epictetus built a renowned school. They achieved these outcomes through indifferent pursuit. They worked toward goals without needing to achieve them. They did their best and accepted results. You should do the same with wealth. Set clear financial goals. Work toward them intelligently. Remain emotionally detached from whether you achieve them exactly as planned. This detachment allows flexibility. Most financial plans fail not from bad strategy but from inflexible attachment to specific outcomes. You plan to retire at 60 with $2 million. Markets crash. You adjust. You work longer or spend less or both. The attached person sees this as failure. They become bitter. They make desperate attempts to recover losses. They usually make things worse. The indifferent person sees adjustment as reality. They adapt without drama. They continue building wealth from the new starting point. Over time, they often reach their goal despite setbacks because they did not quit when the path changed. Apply this to inheritance and wealth transfer. Many people build wealth primarily to leave it to children. This intention is natural, but attachment to this outcome creates problems. You sacrifice present well-being for future wealth transfer. You work extra years. You deny yourself experiences. You optimize every decision for maximum estate value. Then your children mismanage the inheritance, or family conflict destroys relationships, or tax changes eliminate advantages. The outcome you sacrificed for disappears. The indifferent approach is different. Build wealth because building wealth is rational. If you can transfer it to children, good. If circumstances prevent transfer, also good. You lived well. You made intelligent choices. The outcome is secondary. This applies equally to charitable giving. Attached giving seeks credit and control. You want your name on buildings. You want to direct exactly how money is used. You want gratitude and recognition. This attachment corrupts the gift. It creates conflicts with recipients. It prevents effective deployment of resources. Indifferent giving is pure. You identify worthy causes. You contribute what you can afford. You trust recipients to use resources wisely. You do not need credit. You do not require control. You give and release. This approach allows much larger impact because it removes ego from the equation. The woman from the beginning now runs a successful business. She has built significant wealth, real estate, investments, cash reserves, but she lives modestly. She could afford luxury but chooses simplicity. She reinvests profits rather than displaying success. Her net worth is invisible to casual observers. She negotiates every deal from strength because she never needs any particular deal to succeed. Her indifference makes her formidable. Competitors cannot pressure her. Partners cannot manipulate her. Employees respect her because her decisions come from strategy rather than ego or fear. She attributes her success to one principle: be indifferent to wealth while building it. This paradox shaped everything. It allowed her to start a business without guarantee of success. It helped her survive early failures without quitting. It enabled her to reject bad partnerships. It gave her patience to build slowly rather than scale prematurely. It protected her from both success-induced arrogance and failure-induced despair. She worked hard. She made smart choices. She accepted outcomes. She became wealthy because she did not need to become wealthy. This is available to you, not through special talent, not through lucky timing, through simple discipline applied consistently. Pursue wealth rationally. Make intelligent financial decisions. Build assets systematically, but hold results loosely. Do not attach your identity to your net worth. Do not measure your worth by your portfolio. Do not let market movements control your emotional state. Work hard. Choose wisely. Accept outcomes. This is how you become indifferent to wealth while getting rich. The path is clear. Practice negative visualization monthly. Imagine losing everything. Prove to yourself that you can survive. This removes fear from your financial decisions. Practice gratitude for current wealth. Recognize what you already have. This prevents desperation from driving choices. View wealth as a tool. Pursue it for what it enables rather than what it represents. This aligns financial activity with actual values. Accept market reality. Control what you can. Release what you cannot. This eliminates emotional interference with rational strategy. These practices work together. They create psychological space between you and your wealth. This space is power. It allows you to pursue money without being controlled by money, to build assets without being defined by assets, to lose capital without losing yourself, to gain wealth without gaining arrogance. This emotional stability produces better financial decisions. Better decisions produce better outcomes. Better outcomes compound into significant wealth, not because you needed it, but because you did not. The Stoics were right. Indifference is not apathy, it is advantage. The person who needs wealth least builds it fastest. The person who can lose everything risks intelligently. The person who remains calm during volatility capitalizes on panic. The person who pursues goals without attachment persists through obstacles. This is not philosophy. This is practical financial strategy proven over millennia. It worked in Rome, it works today, it will work for you. Subscribe to Money and Stoicism to master your finances and your mind. Like this video if you seek true freedom. Before you close this video, answer these 3 questions honestly. First, what financial decision are you making from desperation rather than strategy? And how would that decision change if you truly did not need the outcome? Second, if you lost half your net worth tomorrow, what would remain unchanged about who you are and what you value? Third, are you building wealth to achieve something specific? Or are you building it because you believe more money will finally make you enough? Write your answers in the comments. This is not just reflection. This is the beginning of your transformation into someone who builds wealth through indifference rather than desperation.